Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And a very warm welcome to Meditation and Murākabah. When she came of age, many companions hoped to marry her because of her closeliness to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yet, the Prophet waited for divine guidance, for this was not to be an ordinary marriage. It was to become a model for all Muslim homes until the end of times. She was already a chosen one, a soul destined to become the leader of the Women of Jannah. Through her, the blessed lineage of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would continue for centuries. This was not simply a marriage, it was safeguarding of a sacred inheritance. Proposals came from noble men, yet the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam remained silent. He waited not out of uncertainty, but for divine permission. And when the answer came, it was the name already written by decree, the name of Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib. He too was not ordinary, born with distinction, the only man on the face of this earth that was born inside the Kaabah and raised from childhood in the household of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hazrat Ali radiyallahu anhu was nurtured under revelation, polished by a prophetic character, and among the earliest to believe in Islam. He brought no wealth to the door. He brought faith, he brought loyalty, and he brought a heart that was shaped in light of prophethood. Light was joining light, purity meeting courage, piety meeting steadfastness, modesty embracing the strength, patience walking beside sacrifice, and truth standing with loyalty. Zuhud paired with generosity. Their home contained a simple mattress made of palm fiber, a grinding mill for flour, a water skin for water, and very few utensils. Yet, this humble space became one of the most blessed households in history, from which emerged Hazrat Hasan radiyallahu anhu and Hazrat Husayn radiyallahu anhu, leaders of the youth of paradise. A whole new world prepared a tiny home to carry a legacy that would echo through time and eternity. Life for Fatimah al-Zahra was physically demanding. She performed all household labor herself, grinding wheat until her hands blistered, carrying water until marks appeared on her shoulders, cooking, cleaning, and raising children without assistance. Their household would sometimes go days without cooked food. Hunger visited them very often, yet complaint never entered their tongue. They understood that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was raising their ranks through what they lacked. Although she was the daughter of the leader of Medina, al-Munawwara, she lived like the poorest believer in Medina. Whenever something entered her home, she would give it out as charity. For charity for her was not an act, it was a state of being her. She wore simple clothing, sometimes patched when it was torn. She preferred hunger with gratitude over fullness with attachment. Her heart had already chosen the hereafter. During the final illness of the Prophet ﷺ, she remained constantly by his side. She saw the light of revelation preparing to depart from the world. In a private moment, he whispered to her that he would soon return to Allah. She wept, knowing what this meant for humanity and for her own heart. Then he whispered again that she would be the first from his family to join him. Through her tears, she smiled. Her sorrow was not despair, it was longing. After his passing, those who saw her noticed that laughter rarely returned to her. It was said that no one resembled the Prophet ﷺ more in character, speech, and dignity than she did. And now, she carried that remembrance like a trust. She lived only a few months after the Prophet's ﷺ's death. During this time, she increased in prayer and reflection. She reduced interaction with worldly matters. She prepared herself consciously for reunion with her Lord. And she sensed that her mission in this world was almost coming to an end. It was getting completed. And it's time to return to the eternal home. According to widely cited reports, it was her husband, Hazrat Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was closest to her in her final moments. What is certain is that she met her Lord in a state of purity and spiritual composure. The world was losing not merely a daughter, a wife, or a mother, it was witnessing the departure of the last living fragments of prophethood from that household. She passed away at roughly the age of 32, yet her spiritual maqam was immensely vast, complete, and protected. Out of sacred modesty that defined her entire life, she made a remarkable request to her husband, Hazrat Ali. She asked that her janazah be carried at night from crowds and away from attention, so that even in death, her form would not be exposed to the gaze of the world. She wished to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the same way as she lived in the dunya, unseen, humble, and wrapped in dignity. Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu was overcome with grief. The house that had already lost the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam some 6 months back now lost its central tenderness. Her children, Sayyidina Imam Hasan radiallahu anhu and Sayyidina Imam Husayn radiallahu anhu, were still young of the ages of 6 and 5 when they lost not just a mother but their entire world. The same Hazrat Ali radiallahu anhu who possessed the strength to uproot the gate of Khaybar found that moment unimaginably heavy. He was unable to carry the coffin alone. She was laid to rest in Jannat al-Baqi, the blessed cemetery of the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored Fatimah al-Zahra in a way that is rarely seen in any world history. In this world, people are known by the names of their fathers. Lineage flows through men. Titles are carried forward through sons. Kings are remembered through dynasty built upon male inheritance. Yet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed something extraordinary. The blessed lineage of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the seal of all the prophets, would continue not through a son but through a daughter. Through her and through Fatimah al-Zahra. Every descendant of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam until the end of time traces back to her. In a world that measured legacy through sons, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated her to become the sole earthly vessel of prophetic continuation. This was not merely biological honor, it was divine elevation. She became the bridge between the prophethood and generations yet unborn. And her honor does not end in this world. Among the narrations mentioned by scholars in the works of virtues, it is described that on the day of judgment, when humanity will stand barefoot, kings and rulers humbled, leaders silent, standing before their Lord, a proclamation will be made calling attention to her rank. A voice will call out to lower their gaze as the noble procession of the leader of the Women of Jannah was passing by. The meaning reflects her immense maqam, a woman whose modesty in this world was so complete that even on the day of resurrection, her dignity will be preserved. Wa akhiru da'wana walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.